So as we all know, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 has been delayed to 2023, and I honestly didn't expect that. I really thought it would release this holiday, although we haven't heard much. But yeah, a bit of a shocker to me, honestly, and I know most mainline Zelda games do get delayed. I totally get that, but I don't know. I just thought it would definitely release this year. But that begs the question, what Zelda game will we see this year? Nintendo has already stated they do want to launch a Zelda title every year, and since the Switch has been out, we have seen a Zelda title every single year. Now, I know everyone's thinking it's gotta be Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD because it's easy for Nintendo to put in the market, and we can assume that it's not a difficult port considering both of these games were already re-released on the Wii U, and essentially they could just bring those versions over. Multiple insiders have also stated that this is very likely, and honestly, I don't doubt it. It's very possible that these could be the Zelda titles that we see this year, whether it be standalone releases, which I doubt they would do standalone releases for this. I would think this would be more of a bundle, essentially, both of the games at $60 or maybe even $50. I don't think they would release them separately at full price by any means. Possibly separately at a discounted price on the eShop, but certainly not at retail. And I know most people were thinking, well, they released Skyward Sword at $60. One, Skyward Sword has never been re-released excluding on Wii U Virtual Console, and Skyward Sword also had to have some work go into it considering they had to configure the controls because they were all motion controls. And so yeah, money was definitely spent on that for sure, and the game has never been re-released, so of course it was released at full price. And also, when has Nintendo not released anything at full price given the circumstance? So with that being said, I don't think we'll see a standalone release of each game. I think if we see these, it would be definitely a double pack or both of them on one cartridge for sure. Possibly independent releases on the eShop. I think they'd retail for about $50 to $60. I don't think they'd be limited to a certain time or anything like that, like they did with 3D All-Stars, but it is very possible that these are the Zelda titles that we will see for sure this year. That doesn't mean we can't speculate though, and in all honesty, I would like to see those games released this year, but there are some other Zelda titles that could get a remake treatment or the remastered treatment, or just get re-released just because it's been so long. So in this video, I just want to talk about some of the potential Zelda titles we could see this year. For my first choice, I would have to say the Minish Cap. Now, the Minish Cap is, as far as I know, the worst selling Zelda title in terms of mainline games, and it just does not get a lot of love. It is a great game, developed by Capcom, believe it or not, and released on the Game Boy Advance. Now, this is one of the last titles that the Game Boy Advance did see released, but I think this game definitely deserves either a remake, a simple port, put it on the eShop, but if more people could play this game, that would be nice. I definitely think it's worth the investment for Nintendo to do this, and it's a really underrated Zelda title that, no one talks about, and I don't know why. It's a really, really great game. Since we're on the topic of top-down Zeldas, I would also like to see one of the Oracle games remastered, preferably the same exact way they did Link's Awakening. I think that would be great. I had such a good time with Link's Awakening for the Switch. I thought it was a remarkable remake. We haven't gotten a top-down Zelda since then, and I'm not going to include Cadence of Hyrule, just because that's just not neither here or there. And both of the games are incredibly charming and really, really fun. It would be a treat to be able to play these games again the same exact way we got to replay Link's Awakening, especially with that fresh coat of paint. It was just such a fun time and such a good release. I really enjoyed that, and if we could get something like that again with the Oracle games, that would be really nice. Now, there are some 3D Zelda games that we could potentially see come to the Switch. There have been rumors like crazy about a Ocarina of Time 3D port, the 3DS versions, and a Majora's Mask 3DS port. And you know what? I would be okay with these, but I feel like it's just not needed, in all honesty. I don't think Nintendo really needs to re-release Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, specifically the 3DS versions. They're great games, but I feel like if you really want to play those hop on Nintendo Switch Online and just play the originals, or for super cheap, you could pick up the 3DS versions and just play through those if you really want to play them. Don't get me wrong, I'd still buy these if Nintendo went this route. They're great games, but I just feel like we've seen them just a little too much. You know, and I do have a soft spot for Ocarina of Time, just like everyone else does, but I really don't want to see these games get released again, at least for now, just because I feel like there are other Zelda titles that really deserve to be re-released. We also have A Link Between Worlds that was released on the 3DS, and I really enjoyed that game. I actually just finished a playthrough of it, and I thought it was immaculate, and I would like to see it come to Switch, but I don't think they're really going to put that game on Switch, honestly. I think it did what it did on 3DS, and Nintendo's pretty content with that, and I doubt we would see it come to Switch. Now, the last thing I could think of is a completely new game, a completely new Zelda title. Possibly a spin-off, not necessarily a mainline game, maybe a brand new top-down Zelda game, but something completely fresh and new. The chances of this one are probably pretty slim, considering Nintendo has been kind of really getting some of their back catalog titles onto the Switch right now, and I think they want to continue with that. And yeah, I doubt we'd see a new title. It would be awesome, though, if we really could see a fresh, brand new title, you know. And for some odd reason, I'm really thinking it's going to be a top-down game this year. I don't know what it is, but my gut is telling me we'll see a top-down game. And it could possibly even be a remake of A Link to the Past. That would be pretty cool, too. But my gut is just telling me top-down. I don't know why. It's very likely that I'm wrong on this, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.